Show me how you work.
It's just like pushing top 100. Oh! Wala sa especially with
Welcome back to Champions Tennisics. And if this is your first time here, you've just stumbled onto the most explosive channel in tennis news. Hit that subscribe button right now because what we're about to reveal will blow your mind. This isn't just another tennis story. This is about private jets, 7-star hotels, a check with more zeros than most people see in a lifetime, and a speech so powerful it brought one of the world's most hardened billionaires to his knees, sobbing like a child. We're talking about the collision of two worlds. The glittering gold-plated universe of Dubai's ultra-elite and the blood, sweat, and tears journey of the Philippines' golden girl, Alexandria. Buckle up because the tea we're spilling today is piping hot. And it starts with a question that nobody saw coming. What does it cost to make a billionaire cry? The answer, my friends, is 5 million and 2 hours of pure unfiltered authenticity. The rumors have been flying for weeks now, whispered in the corridors of Dubai's most exclusive country clubs, and leaked through the social media accounts of people who move in circles most of us can only imagine. But today, we finally have the full story of what might be the most extravagant birthday invitation in the history of professional sports. Picture this scene. A private Gulfstream jet sitting on a Manila tarmac, engines humming, champagne on ice, waiting for one passenger. A penthouse suite at the Burj Arab, the world's only 7-star hotel prepared with rose petals and luxury that would make royalty jealous. And at the center of it all, a simple request that came with a price tag of 5 million. The request: just show up, smile for some photos, and help cut a birthday cake. Sounds easy, right? But what actually happened at that party has turned this from a story about obscene wealth into something far more profound, far more human, and infinitely more viral. Let's start at the beginning because to understand why this happened, you need to know about the man who made it happen. Sheikh Ahmed Al Maktoum is not just rich. Rich is what we call celebrities with a few million in the bank. The Sheikh is wealthy on a level that defies normal comprehension. We're talking about oil money, the kind of generational wealth that builds cities and moves markets. His car collection alone could fund a small nation's economy. We're talking about vehicles that have never seen public roads, Bugattis, and Ferraris that sit in climate-controlled garages like museum pieces. His yachts make the ones you see in Monaco look like fishing boats. The man has a private zoo for crying out loud. When you have everything money can buy, what do you desire? For Sheikh Ahmed, the answer is surprisingly pure. He loves tennis. But this isn't the casual fandom of someone who watches Wimbledon finals while sipping champagne. According to sources deep within his inner circle, Sheikh Ahmed has been obsessed with one player in particular for the past 3 years. Every single match Ealas has played. Whether it was a qualifying round at a small tournament in Europe or her breakthrough moments on the biggest stages, he has watched, not just watched, studied, analyzed, celebrated. When Eala was grinding through 3-set battles in the Australian Open qualifiers earlier this year, pushing her body to the absolute limit, the Sheikh was glued to a screen, living and dying with every point. When she finally broke into the top 50 in the world rankings, becoming the first Filipino player ever to reach that milestone, he reportedly threw a private celebration at his palace. We're talking about champagne towers and fireworks. Not because he knew her personally, but because he respected what she represented: the underdog, the fighter, the champion who came from nothing and refused to quit. Now, here's where it gets interesting. After Ella's grueling campaign at the Australian Open, where she pushed herself to the brink of exhaustion, a mysterious package arrived at her management agency in Manila. Nobody knew who sent it at the time, but the gifts inside were worth more than the tournament prize money she had earned. Designer items, luxury accessories, and a handwritten note that simply said, "Keep fighting. The world is watching." For months, her team speculated about the identity of this superfan. Was it a sponsor looking to sign her? A secret admirer? A fellow athlete? Nobody knew until now. Because as Sheikh Ahmed's 50th birthday approached, he decided it was time to reveal himself. And he did it in the most spectacular way imaginable. The invitation that landed on Eala's management desk wasn't delivered by email or courier. It arrived via a personal representative of the sheik, dressed in traditional Emirati formal wear, carrying a leather portfolio embossed with gold. Inside was what they're calling the special package. And when the numbers were revealed, jaws hit the floor. 5 million. Not for a month-long sponsorship deal. Not for a series of appearances or a branding campaign. For 2 hours at a birthday party. Let that sink in for a moment. 2 hours. That breaks down to roughly 41,000 per minute. It's the kind of money that most professional tennis players don't earn in an entire year of grueling tournaments. And it was being offered for what seemed like the easiest gig in the world. Show up, look pretty, cut a cake, go home rich. But the package itself was where the true extravagance showed. The sheik didn't just offer money. He offered an experience that most people couldn't buy even if they had the cash. First, the transportation. The special package included a private Gulfstream G650, widely considered one of the most luxurious private jets in the world, dispatched specifically to the Philippines to collect Eala and her chosen companions. This isn't your standard private jet with leather seats and a mini bar. We're talking about an aircraft with bedroom suites, a full-service chef preparing gourmet meals at cruising altitude, gold trim fixtures, and entertainment systems that would make a Hollywood executive jealous. The flight from Manila to Dubai is roughly 9 hours. And every single second of that journey was designed to make Eala feel like the superstar she is. Upon landing in Dubai, the luxury didn't just continue, it escalated. The package included a full 7-day stay at the Burj Al Arab, and not just any room, the Royal Penthouse Suite. For those unfamiliar, the Burj Arab sits on its own artificial island and is often called the world's most luxurious hotel. It's a place where royalty stays, where billionaires hold court, where every detail is designed to scream opulence. The Royal Penthouse spans 2 floors and includes a private cinema, a rotating bed with panoramic views of the Arabian Gulf, a private butler service available 24 hours a day, and bathrooms that feature gold-plated fixtures and marble imported from Italy. The nightly rate for this suite, approximately 24,000, and Eala had it for a week. She could have watched movies, ordered room service that costs more per meal than most people's monthly rent, and enjoyed spa treatments using products infused with actual gold. This was luxury beyond imagination, and it was all just the appetizer for the main event. The birthday party itself was held in a private ballroom that had been transformed into something out of a fantasy. Witnesses describe walking into a space dripping with Swarovski crystals, rare orchids flown in from Southeast Asia, and lighting designed by the same team that works on major Hollywood productions. The guest list read like a directory of the world's most powerful people. We're talking about other members of the Al Maktoum family, oil magnates from across the Gulf states, tech billionaires, European aristocracy, and celebrities whose names you'd recognize instantly. And in the middle of it all, standing next to Sheikh Ahmed as his guest of honor, was 20-year-old Alex from Quezon City, Philippines. The request itself was deceptively simple. I was to stand beside the sheik as guests arrived, pose for photographs with the VIP attendees, and then when the moment came, help him cut his elaborately designed birthday cake. It was a 3-tiered masterpiece, reportedly costing $50,000 on its own, decorated with edible gold leaf, and featuring a tennis court design on the top tier as a tribute to the sheik's passion for the sport. For most people in Eala's position, this would be a dream gig. Smile, wave, cut the cake, collect the check, and head back to the penthouse for a week of luxury. Easy money. But what happened next is what transformed the story from a tale of extravagant wealth into something viral, something deeply human, something that people are still talking about weeks later. After the photographs were taken and the cake was cut, the music faded. The ballroom, which had been buzzing with conversation and the clink of champagne glasses, fell silent. Alex Eala was handed a microphone. Most athletes in her position would have offered a generic birthday message, thanked the host for the incredible hospitality, maybe made a joke about the luxury they'd been enjoying, and called it a night. But Ella, who has spent years training at the Raffinadal Academy, who moved away from her family as a teenager to chase her dreams, who has fought through injuries and doubts and countless three-set battles, doesn't do generic. She doesn't do surface level. When she speaks from the soul. According to multiple witnesses who were in that ballroom, began by thanking the sheik not for the money or the luxury, but for something more valuable, his belief in her. She spoke about what it means to be a champion, not just on the tennis court, but in life. She talked about the responsibility that comes with influence and power, about how the greatest champions use their platforms to lift others up. She spoke about the lonely hours on practice courts. The moments of doubt when injuries threatened to end her career before it truly began. The times when she wanted to quit but couldn't because she knew there were people believing in her. People like the young girls in the Philippines who see her as proof that dreams aren't just for the privileged. People like the sheik who, despite having everything, chose to invest his time and resources into supporting an athlete who represents the beautiful struggle of rising from nothing. But then Ella said something that cut through all the glamour and wealth in that room. She looked directly at Sheikh Ahmed and said that true champions aren't defined by their trophies or their rankings or their bank accounts. True champions are defined by their hearts, by their willingness to support others, by their understanding that success means nothing if it's not shared. She thanked him for being that kind of champion, for using his resources to support athletes who are still fighting their way up rather than just collecting autographs from those who have already made it. She told him that his support, whether he realized it or not, had carried her through some of her darkest moments this year because knowing that someone believed in her that strongly gave her the strength to keep going when her body was screaming at her to stop. The ballroom was dead silent. You could have heard a pin drop. And then something happened that nobody expected. Sheikh Ahmed Al Maktoum, the stoic oil tycoon known throughout the business world for his iron will and emotionless negotiations. The man who has built empires and never shown weakness, started crying. Not just a single tear rolling down his cheek. We're talking about full uncontrolled sobbing. His shoulders shaking, his hands covering his face, completely overwhelmed by the authenticity of what he had just heard. Here was a man who could buy literally anything on the planet, and he had just been given something money can't purchase. Genuine gratitude from someone he admired, delivered with a sincerity that bypassed every defense his wealth had built around him. The room erupted, not with polite applause, but with a standing ovation that lasted several minutes. Guests who moments before had been casually sipping champagne were now on their feet, many of them wiping away their own tears. Because in that moment, Eala had done something magical. She had reminded a room full of the world's most powerful people that underneath all the wealth, the titles, the power, were all just humans looking for connection and meaning. The sheik reportedly embraced Ella after her speech, and photographers captured him whispering, "Thank you," over and over while still crying. Those photos, which have been circulating in private circles and leaked partially to social media, show a side of Dubai's elite that the world rarely sees. Vulnerable, emotional, deeply human. Now, you might be wondering why a billionaire would spend $5 million on a tennis player who, while incredibly talented and on the rise, isn't yet a household name like Serena Williams or Maria Sharapova. To understand this, we need to look at what Alex Eala has accomplished in 2025. Because this invitation didn't happen in a vacuum. This happened because Ella has had the kind of breakthrough year that transforms athletes into global icons. Just weeks before this Dubai trip, Ella wrapped up a historic campaign at the Southeast Asian Games in Bangkok, Thailand. And she didn't just compete, she absolutely dominated. She captured the women's singles gold medal, ending a 26-year drought for the Philippines. The last time a Filipina stood on that podium with gold around her neck was in 1999. Think about that. An entire generation had passed without this achievement. And Ella brought it home with a performance that was nothing short of surgical. She destroyed the home crowd favorite Maneka Saini in straight sets 61-62, making it look effortless. But the SEA Games gold is just the tip of the iceberg. 2025 has been a fairy tale season for Ella on the WTA Tour. She cracked the top 50 in the world rankings, a historic first for any Filipino player, male or female. Her run at the Miami Open earlier this year sent shockwaves through the tennis world. She entered as a wild card, someone nobody expected to make noise, and proceeded to tear through the draw like a hurricane. She took down former world number 1 IGA Swiatek in a 3-set thriller that had tennis fans around the world losing their minds. She defeated Madison Keys, a former Grand Slam finalist, in straight sets. She reached the semifinals before finally running out of gas, but by then the message was clear. Alex Eala is no longer a prospect. Add to that her first WTA125 title in Guadalajara and her finals appearance at Eastbourne, and you have an athlete who is making history every time she competes. Every match is a statement. Every victory is a milestone. Every time she walks onto a court, she's representing not just herself, but an entire nation that has waited decades for a tennis star of this caliber. For a visionary like Sheik Ahmed, investing in Eala isn't just about being a fan. It's about aligning himself with the future of the sport. He sees what everyone paying attention sees, a future Grand Slam champion in the making. He's not throwing money at an established legend who's already secured their legacy. He's betting on potential, on hunger, on the kind of fighter mentality that can't be taught or bought. This story also highlights a fascinating trend that's been developing in the Middle East. Saudi Arabia and the UAE have been pouring billions into sports, particularly tennis. They're bringing in top tournaments, building world-class me's, and trying to position themselves as the new frontier of global tennis. But usually, these investments come in the form of tournament sponsorships or facility development. This is different. This is personal. A $5 million birthday invitation isn't about business. It's about passion. It signals that Eala has transcended the category of athlete and entered the realm of global icon. She's no longer just the pride of the Philippines. She's becoming a name that resonates in the luxury markets of Dubai, in the boardrooms of multinational corporations, in the conversations of people who have the resources to turn admiration into action. The Elo effect, as fans are now calling it, is spreading like wildfire across social media. When news of this $5 million package leaked, the internet exploded. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, every platform lit up with reactions. Some fans are calling it the ultimate simp move by the Sheik, though that seems like a shallow reading of what actually happened. Others are praising him for supporting women's tennis in such a tangible, generous way. One viral tweet read, "Alex Eala getting $5 million to cut a cake is the level of success I aspire to. Absolute queen behavior." Another comment that gained massive traction said, "The Sheik crying at her speech proves that Alex Eala is humble even when she's dripping in luxury. That's exactly why we love her. She's never forgotten where she came from." The story combines everything people love: massive wealth, sporting excellence, and an emotional core that feels genuine in a world that often feels manufactured. It reminds us that athletes aren't just entertainers or competitors. They're heroes. They're symbols of possibility. They inspire people from all walks of life. From the kid hitting tennis balls against a cracked wall in Case and City dreaming of something better to the oil tycoon in a penthouse suite in Dubai, who is everything except the pure joy of watching someone fight for their dreams. Eala bridges that gap. She represents the universal truth that dedication, heart, and authenticity matter more than privilege or circumstance. What does this mean for Eala's future beyond the immediate bank balance boost? The doors that have opened for her are massive. Rubbing shoulders with Dubai's elite means potential endorsements and partnerships that most tennis players never access. We could be looking at deals with luxury airlines, high-end watch companies, global fashion brands, maybe even tech companies looking to align with her inspiring story. Her marketability has skyrocketed. But here's what's amazing. Reports indicate that Eala was back on the practice court within days of returning from Dubai. The glitz and glamour of the Burj Arab are nice, but they're not why she plays tennis. Her eyes remain locked on the prize, a Grand Slam title. She stated publicly that her goal for the upcoming season is to make a deep run at the Australian Open. And honestly, who would bet against her at this point? She's got the game, the confidence, the momentum, and now the financial backing of a billionaire superfan. That's a powerful combination. There's also speculation about what comes next in this relationship between Eala and Sheik Ahmed. Will he become a regular presence in her player box at major tournaments? Will there be future collaborations or sponsorship deals? Some insiders are suggesting that the Sheik is considering funding a tennis academy in the Philippines to help develop the next generation of talent with Eala as the face of the program. Imagine the impact that could have. Kids who currently have no access to quality coaching or facilities suddenly having a world-class academy in their own country, inspired by and potentially mentored by their national hero. That's the kind of legacy-building move that transforms sports in entire regions. If that happens, this 5 million birthday party might end up being remembered not as an extravagant gesture, but as the beginning of something that changed Philippine tennis forever. The cynics will say this is just another story of wealth flexing on poverty, of a billionaire buying access to someone they admire. But that's a shallow reading. Yes, the money is obscene. Yes, the luxury is outrageous. But at the heart of this story is something beautiful. A genuine fan supporting an athlete they believe in. And that athlete responding with grace and authenticity that transformed a birthday party into a moment of real human connection. In a world that often feels transactional and superficial, this story reminds us that sincerity still matters. Authenticity still cuts through. And sometimes the most valuable thing you can give someone who is everything is the reminder that they're seen, appreciated, and understood. So, what do you think? Was 5 million too much for a 2-hour appearance, or does Alex Eala deserve every single penny of it? What do you think she said in that speech that made a hardened billionaire break down crying? Do you think Sheik Ahmed will show up courtside at the Australian Open? Drop your theories and reactions in the comments below because we want to hear from you. This is the kind of story that gets people talking, and we love the conversation. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the most extravagant birthday invitation in sports history, smash that like button. Share this video with every tennis fan you know because trust us, they need to hear this story. The Champions tennis community is growing every single day, and we want you to be part of it. Hit that subscribe button right now and ring the notification bell so you never miss our next exclusive breakdown. We're bringing you the stories that nobody else is covering, the insider information that reveals what's really happening behind the scenes in the tennis world. We've got some explosive Australian Open intel coming your way in the next video that you absolutely cannot miss. Thank you for watching Champions Tennis, your home for the champions of today and the legends of tomorrow. We'll see you in the next one. And remember, in tennis and in life, stay hungry, stay humble, and keep fighting for your dreams.